funny to me.
I was just looking.
Oh yeah. Hey, how are you?
How you doing?
I did email. Said last time, last, but I did reply.
Oh,
Um, David said, when we came last month, that's what he was saying.
I can tell he.
Oh, I might not. Amen. 24. Yeah.
Today is April 1st, Wednesday, 2026 at 3:12 p.m. I am currently your Chairman, Chauncey S. Hendricks, and I would like to call this meeting to order and recognize that we do have a quorum.
Yes, and if we, I'll just do the names real quick. Hendricks,
Okay,
Nelson, Reese, Alderman, Lottenhauser, Johnson,
Yes.
Landy.
Yes.
We do have a quorum.
I will now proceed with the public notice announcement. In accordance with the Freedom of Information Act, a copy of the agenda was sent to radio and television stations, newspapers, persons requesting notification, and posted on the bulletin board located in the county administration office. At this time, I will present the rules of order. The Board of Zoning Appeals is a quasi-court. It will take evidence that's presented, and it will hopefully render a decision today for each case. The way that the mechanics of this will work is that the applicant will be allotted 15 minutes to present their case. Anyone that is signed up in opposition will be granted up to 3 minutes each to present their opposition. And then the applicant, if necessary, will be allotted up to 5 minutes for a rebuttal. The board can extend those times at its discretion as needed. The board may have questions for the applicant and also potentially for anyone signed up to speak. The agenda is ordered as the board requires to conduct business. Usually, the cases are ordered based on the filing date. Some cases may take longer than others, depending on the complexity of the case, the issues at hand, and the number of witnesses. When you are called to testify, please address your remarks to the board. No exchanges between the speaker and the audience. Please, no audience demonstrations or testimonies other than those at the podium. You are under oath and are being recorded, so please do not promise to do something that you are not prepared to do. Don't fail to say something that's material to what you intend to do, and please speak into the microphone. In terms of evidence presented, this is not as formal as a court. We will accept documents that you've submitted, including any kind of last-minute submissions that you may bring today, and those items you submit will be weighed appropriately. Cases can either be approved, denied, or they could also be granted a conditional decision based on meeting certain conditions. The decisions are final when the minutes are approved, which is typically 1 month from the meeting or at the next scheduled meeting. If you take any action before the decision is final, you proceed at your own risk. Any person who may have a substantial interest in the decision rendered by the board today may request a reconsideration of this decision prior to the approval of the minutes. This reconsideration request must be based on a specific error made by the board. And if you have any issues, you may obtain more information about this process from Mr. Delegay, the zoning administrator. Once the request for reconsideration has been exhausted, any person with substantial interest in a decision of the board may appeal it to the circuit court, and those appeals must be filed 30 days after decision of the board. And it has to have been mailed and after the minutes, again, have been approved. If you are unhappy with the decisions of the board today, please follow the reconsideration and appeal process. Please do not voice your displeasures or your frustrations with the board. A few housekeeping items. Please silence or turn off your cell phones and/or pagers. Please make sure that your name is on the sign-in roster for each case. If you need to come and go, please do so quietly. The board may have occasionally entered into executive session and/or recess. Anyone that's planning to provide testimony today, please rise so that you can be sworn in. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony that you will give today is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? I do. You may be seated. Now we will have any additions, deletions to the agenda or the adoption of the agenda at this time.
Madam Chair, there are no additions or deletions, except for just note that the second case was withdrawn. We were able to, with some additional information, find out how they were able to accomplish what they wanted to accomplish, so we withdrew them.
May I have a motion from the board to accept the additions and deletions as stated by the zoning administrator?
I move we accept the additions and deletions to the agenda.
It's been properly moved in second. Zoning administrator, ready for the vote?
Hendricks,
Aye.
Alderman,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Landy.
Aye.
That motion passes.
The next bullet on the agenda is the election of officers. Move forward with the board giving or moving a motion for a chair at this time.
So moved.
I nominate Ms. Hendricks to remain as
Yes, that's
chair.
what we-
All right, that is a motion and a second for Ms. Hendricks to remain as chair.
Been properly moved in second. I would also like to move a motion that Mr. Alexander Alderman be our co-chair for this boarding term. May I have a motion? And a second.
Motion that Mr. Alderman be nominated as co-chair for this term.
All right, motion and a second, and that is for Mr. Alderman to be vice chair.
So moving forward, our zoning board appeals positions moving forward into this election year will be yours truly remaining your chair and Mr. Alderman being your co-chair. Now we'll,
Sorry, I think you would probably, just to be safe, need to take a vote on each of the motions
okay.
separately.
So can we have a vote for the chair, yours truly?
Yes, Madam Chair. So again, the vote is for Sasha Hendricks to be the chairman for the next year. Nelson,
Yes.
Hendricks,
Yes.
Alderman,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Landy.
Yes.
All right, motion is approved.
Now I ask that we have a motion, and we've already did the motion and the second, so now we'll do the vote for our co-chair, Alexander Alderman.
All right. Nelson,
Yes.
Hendricks,
Yes.
Alderman,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Landy.
Yes.
All right, motion approved.
Rules of order were also covered in the public notice announcement, so now we'll move forward with our public hearing from our zoning administrator himself.
Okay, so our first case is zoning ZV 26-001. The applicant's name is Shauna Shepherd. The location is 1004 Jones Road, TMS number R02409-03-12. The applicant is requesting the Board of Zoning Appeals to grant a variance to encroach into the required front and rear yard setbacks for the property zone residential 2 district. The property is currently undeveloped. It's 0.35 acres, and the applicant is proposing to establish a residential dwelling that will encroach into those setbacks. The area is primarily residential. The Board of Zoning Appeals shall have the following powers and duties under this ordinance, is listed here on the application. Sorry, I'm trying to talk and chew gum. And walk, apparently. But the decisions for the board is that they shall approve a variance only after finding the applicant demonstrates all of the following. There are extraordinary and exceptional conditions pertaining to the particular piece of property. These conditions do not generally apply to other property in the vicinity. These conditions are not a result of the applicant's own actions, and because these conditions, the application of the standards in this ordinance to this particular piece of property would effectively prohibit or unreasonably restrict the utilization of the property. And The authorization of a variance will not be a substantial detriment to adjacent property or to the public good, and the granting of the variance will not harm the character of the district. The applicant is proposing to construct a residence that will encroach into the 35-foot front yard setback by 15 feet and 24 feet into the required rear yard setback. The minimum lot area for parcels in the R2 district is 14,500 square feet, while the lot area for the subject site is above that and conforming to the minimum lot size for the R2 district. However, the configuration of the parcel coupled with the required setbacks limits the buildable area for the proposed structure. Staff believes that the parcel meets all criteria for granting of a variance and recommends that the request be approved. According to the standard review, the variance shall not be granted until the following findings are made: extraordinary and exceptional conditions, that the nonconformity of the parcel, specifically the configuration and the required setbacks for the district, restricts the placement options for the proposed structure. Conditions applicable to other properties, staff was not able to provide or identify any parcels in the general area which are both conforming in regards to lot width and lot area, but restricted by their configurations. That the application of the ordinance would be restrict the utilization of the property due to the remapping of the county and the R2 district standards having a 35-foot front and a 30 rear would significantly basically reduce the buildable area of the site. And that there would be no substantial detriment to surrounding properties if the variance is granted. The board shall make a decision based off of either those conditions and approve the application as submitted, approve the application subject to conditions of approval to comply, or to deny the application. And if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
Now, if the board doesn't have any questions, our co-chairman will now call the applicant up to the podium first, and then go into order by those against and for. Your preference.
Hi, I'm Shanna Shepherd, and I thank you for your time in this this afternoon, seeing as I'm the only one here. So I appreciate your time and being here.
Excuse me, just before you get started, could you just state your name and address, just for the record?
Shanna Shepherd, and this property is 1004 Jones Road in Irmo, South Carolina 29063. The page actually says Columbia, I believe, but the zip code is correct. Okay. I had a building permit on this property in 2018, and I was not able to build at that time because I couldn't afford to build. The construction cost had changed so much. And so I bought an existing house, and now I want to build on it. Because of the remapping, the area in the flood zone and the area that I have to build the house would only give me a 440 square foot house. And so I'm requesting that the house that was permitted in 2018, that space be allowed. The other houses, one of the questions in the application asks if this would affect any other houses in the neighborhood. To my knowledge, all of the lots in our neighborhood are already built on. I think there are 24 homes. It is a dead end. The unusualness about the lot is that it follows the road, and so it's not a rectangle. So the front of the house actually faces what you see on the plat is the flood zone. And so there's no like backyard and side yard because it's a football shape. And so that's why that I'm requesting the space that was available to build on prior to the remapping. It does not interfere with any utilities. There's no underground utilities there that it would interfere with. nor above-ground utilities. Are there any questions for me?
Ms. Shepherd, at this time, the board doesn't have any questions. However, we do want to see that actual photo. And if you don't mind taking a seat, because once we hear everyone else, if we have any more questions, we can call you back up.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Are we doing that? We'll start with is Mr. James Butler here? We'll start with you first, sir. And if you could, when you get to the mic, just state your name and your address, please.
My name is James Butler. I live at 1028 Jones Road, which is beyond the point you're talking about. I had pictures taken this morning. If you would like to see what the lot looks like. Can I bring it up there? Well, okay, this is from, my house is back this way, to the left of the picture, and the road goes around there, and that is the lot. If you scroll, if you flip the picture left, right, you can see additional pictures. This lot is on a curve, that very long curve. It's on the inside. If you come closer to the street with the house, it'll just put the cars parking space farther out. We already have a problem there with congestion, with people parking, cleaning up equipment like, I'm sorry, I had a stroke 13 years ago, so I'm a little hard to talk. But people park trucks on the street. There's no off-street parking there. So she's just going to push her vehicles out closer to the street or on the street and push the tradesmen's vehicles out into the street. They'll be parking there's a 2-lane road in there, coming in and going out. And it's on a curve. We're talking houses in here that are worth, at a minimum, $400,000. Except for the first two that were squeezed in. There are houses on down the street that are $750,000 of $1 million houses. This is not a low-class neighborhood. And she's wanting to obstruct the access to these houses. I'm sorry. It's on Lake Murray. These are waterfront houses on down the street. She's right at the end of the inlet. And she's wanting to take that little scrap of land and put a house on it. It's going to adversely affect the 4-acre house 4-acre property across the street and every house down the street by making it harder to get in and out. It's already a bottleneck because houses are built up close to the street already. The last two, they were squeezed in there. She's wanting to put a little tiny house on a piece of land. It's a scrap. It's never big enough to put a house on anyway. And she's wanting to bring down the property values of everybody else.
Thank you, Mr. Butler. I do have one question, and maybe someone else on the board. The photos that you showed us, that house that's right across the street, where are you from that house?
I'm fourth house down the street, on the same side as this property. I'm on the water. I waited for years to get a house on the water that I can afford. The land alone is $200,000.
Okay, thank you. Does anyone else on the board have any questions for Mr. Butler?
I do.
Yeah.
I'll yield to you.
Mr. Butler, you stated that for this house to be built on this piece of land, for Ms. Shepherd to build this house, is going to impact parking. So, I'm just want to understand, the home that Ms. Shepherd will build will have a driveway, and
I'm sorry, man, I can't.
her house will have a driveway. You mentioned that there are people parking on this road, so am I assuming that correctly that people are illegally parking along that road? Because I'm trying to understand, you're saying it'll push the cars further down the street when people park, but are we still talking that people who are illegally parking will now be still illegally parking 75 feet down the street?
That's not quite what I said. All the houses down the street have garages, double car garages, plenty of spaces to park. Nobody else is parking on the street. But when people come in to service something, like do a plumbing job, grass cutting, whatever, there's no place on this curve here. There's no place else where they can park except on the street. They're already parking in the two traffic lanes, the inbound and outbound. They're already parking in there pretty frequently, maybe once a week or so. And this house doesn't fit in with these last two houses, and the one that Shauna is proposing to build do not fit in the neighborhood. They are not $500,000 houses. I mean, there's a house down towards the end of the street that's on 3 lots. It's owned by 2 veterinarians. It's well over $1 million house. And they wanted to put this little junky house here on the curve coming into the place. My concern is it's going to push, if you push that out closer to the pavement by 15 feet, it's going to take this parking space. It's not going to be the off-street parking space left. It's going to push. The houses that are already there tend to park on the street or right next to the street.
Mr. Butler, are there any current covenants or HOAs in the neighborhood?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Are there any covenants or HOAs currently in the neighborhood? City ordinances or town ordinances?
On the, yes and no. On the left side of the street, they have a homeowners association. The right side of the street that I'm on, there's not a homeowners association.
Now, is the house that is being proposed, is that on the HOA or the non-HOA side?
It's on the non-homeowners association side.
Thank you.
Gotcha.
Any other questions for Mr. Butler? All right, thank you, Mr. Butler.
Okay.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
recognize. So Mr. Price got in contact with IT, so they're going to come down and take a look at it. We currently do not have internet access here, so I can't pull up the GIS, which I think will help better answer some questions. So if we want to just take a slight pause so they can get down here and get it worked out, I think that'd be helpful.
Sir, you're not speaking to the microphone. I can't hear you. Microphone, please. I can't hear you.
Mr. Butler, we're just going to take a slight recess until we can get the internet up so that we can actually see the photos other than what you showed us, so that we can get a clearer view on the screen so that everyone in here can actually see it. So just give us a few minutes, bear with us. We're just going to take a slight recess. Mr. Administrator, do I need to move a motion to take a recess, or do we just pause?
We can pause, but if you want to do a little bit more formally, we can. We'll stop the recording, but that would need a motion to go into recess.
Formally, for the purposes of pausing the recording, could I have a motion that we go into recess until IT can get down here?
Make a motion that we take a second for IT.
Second.
All right, that's a motion and a second. Nelson,
Yes.
Hendricks,
Yes.
Alderman,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Landy.
Yes.
All right, motion approved.
what's not working?
How y'all doing? Nice to meet you. Rodney Tucker.
What's your name?
Rodney Tucker.
Okay. What's your connection is?
Oh, I work with these guys. I'm just a ghost in the background. How you doing, ma'am? I would not miss you at all.
I'm Shan. Nice to meet you, Rodney.
All right, y'all take care.
Yes, we're ready to begin.
All right, so just for the minutes purposes, we had IT come down and do work on the computer. We lost the internet, but we do have that capability, and then we would just need to do a motion to come out of recess and go from there.
I have a motion that we come up out of recess at this time and restart our meeting.
I move that we come out of recess and restart the meeting.
All right, that's a motion and a second to come out of recess. Nelson? Yes. Hendricks?
Yes.
Alderman?
Yes.
Johnson?
Yes.
Landy?
Yes.
Motion approved.
Now we resume at 3:50. We're going to start back with our applicants.
All right. Miss Mary Butler, are you here?
She did not sign up to speak.
Okay, I have a name here. You just spoke. I have a name here. It's on the list, so she does not want to speak.
At this time, if the board would like to have Ms. Shepherd come back up, do we have any questions for her? Ms. Shepherd? And just for the record, please, ma'am, just state your name again and address, just because we restarted the meeting.
Okay, Shanna Shepherd. The property is 1004 Jones Road, Irmo, South Carolina, 29063.
Ms. Shepherd, you stated earlier that the property was maybe remapped or something like that. Can you speak a little bit more about that?
I'm not an expert on this, of course, but I understand in March of last year that the 25-foot moved to 35-foot, and that's what changed it for that R2 property. I don't know the exact date.
I'm clear now. I thought you were saying your property, the parameters changed on the actual physical property.
No, sir.
Nothing changed on the property since you purchased it.
That's
So you
correct.
purchased the property as is. You understood all of the specifications when you purchased it.
Yes,
That
and
it
when I
w-
pulled the original building permit, it allowed for this shape house. So now, when I went to pull the new building permit in January, I was told that had changed to 35-foot. And so that's why I'm requesting that it be allowed.
So are you saying, I just want to make sure I'm clear, are you saying originally the home that you wanted to build would have fit
Yes.
within the parameters
Yes,
before it was moved to?
yes. Before I'm not sure what you call them. Is it
No, I
an
got you.
ordinance or a setback?
I
Whatever
got you.
that term is.
Setback, yeah,
Yes,
so
sir.
it'd be setback.
And so now I would only, with this setback, I would only have a space for 440 square feet of actual building space without being in the flood zone.
So if I'm looking at it correctly, are you saying the proposed dwelling would have a 6-foot backyard, 6-foot deep backyard?
I would call that the side because the front of the house faces the flood zone.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
So just to be clear, I just want to make sure everybody's getting the same information. So originally the lot was zone rural, it had a different, I'm sorry, not rural. There's so much rural in the county. I talk about it all the time. So originally it was zoned RSLD, which is the lowest density single family district. During our remapping process, the zoning districts were changed over to the new land development code. This particular district had a greater required front and rear than the previous zoning district did. So what was submitted for that building permit and that was approved previously was approved under the previous land development code. In this case, the actual building permit, because it was not constructed upon within the allowed time, expired and was not a request for an extension was not made. So therefore, they were having to come in underneath the current ordinance and the current setbacks. And that's kind of what the applicant's referring to.
When did that take place?
It became effective March 1 of 2024.
2024?
Correct.
I still have some more questions. So are you saying now the proposed dwelling, the front of it is going to be facing the flood area?
Yes. There's no way for me to really point at that, but my driveway that the South Carolina Department of Transportation chose to put in my culvert is, can I look at it closer? Oh, I have one, never, I'm sorry. I'll show you where that.
And Madam Chair,
Yes.
just for the record, the where the door or where the perceived door is going to face, for zoning, the front is anything along the road frontage or the right of way. That's going to be where the front setback is coming from. So regardless if the front faces the flood area or faces the rear, the setback is going to be the same to whether that's considered their side of their house or not. It'll be the front for zoning purposes.
Oh, thank you. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so with that being in mind, was there a particular reason why you didn't position the home on the flood area? If that's going to be the...
Yes, sir. I don't want to play flood insurance, and I don't want my house to flood.
So you would have your entire front yard to be in a flood area?
But the house is not. Yes, sir. Do you want me to show you what that, I mean, if you look on here where that OD, the two O's are in the word flood, from the road to the lot in front of mine, there is a Storm Creek drain. It's a storm runoff drain.
I saw it online.
okay.
That's what that is. Okay.
Yes, sir.
That's what I saw online.
And so
Okay.
I don't want to be in that floodplain with my house. I don't even know if that's allowed. Can you build in a floodplain? I don't.
You can.
Okay.
Which is why I was asking, for one, and then for two, I just think it's a bit awkward to have your home facing that way if it is the plan. So are you confirming that if you were to build the home that you want, that the side of the home will be pretty much where the front is right now? And then your home would be facing, the entire front yard would be facing the flood zone?
Yes, sir. In the bigger part of the yard, that is correct. Now, if you tell me that it needs to face the road,
I'm not saying that. I'm just
okay,
saying it's a
okay.
bit awkward for the home not to face the
Okay.
front and to be positioned in a way that would, it just seems,
yeah. When you come around from where the first, it says 257 feet, when you're driving there, you actually see the front of the house as you come down this road. Does that make sense? As you come down this road, you see the front of the house here.
are there
really
trees? Are there trees there?
About 7. But yes, you'd see the front of the house, and that's what I would look at. I would prefer to look at that than look at the sides of the house.
Ms. Oh, no. Ms. Shepherd, did you repurchase the home in September of 2025?
I did.
Okay, so did you sell it and then bought it back from?
I did.
Okay.
I owned the property next door to it, and the gentleman thought he was going to build a big house on 2 lots. And so then when he sold his house again, I bought it back because it was, can I say something personal that's not a,
You don't have to go
okay.
into too much detail.
No, I want to, I mean, if you don't mind, I'd like to tell you personally, I'm in the construction business as a builder, and in 2008, we had what I call a depression. And this was the first thing I was able to buy after I came out of that depression. And so the lot's very important to me. It took me 5 years to buy it, and so it's important to me that I bought it back from him. And now I want to build the house on it. And I can tell you, can I address a couple of the things that Jim said?
Certainly. Before you do, I just want to make sure I have the timeline right. So you initially purchased the home, you said the land in 2016, is that right?
I would have to check my records. But yes, it was about 12 years ago.
Old. Old.
Yes.
Code changed in 2024, and then you bought it back in 2025.
That is correct.
Okay. All right, thank you. Oh, I'm certainly, yes, ma'am, I will.
Oh, I just wanted to say, the house in front of, when you see it says Jenny Kosnowski, that house is, according to the county property, that house is 1,100 square feet. The one to the next corner of my property is 900 square feet. The house I'm asking to build is 1,440 square feet. According to the county, Mr. Jim's property is 1,870 square feet. I saw him Sunday, and he didn't ask me for my plans. He didn't ask me if it was going to be a junky little house. It actually looks a lot like his house, which makes me feel bad, but the houses on each side of me are very small. And as far as the South Carolina Department of Transportation put the culvert in, where those two lines are that show the stormwater drainage, that's where they chose to put the driveway in. It's already there. I mean, the culvert is there, which has visibility around the entire corner. And there is a lot of property here where people can park when they come visit me.
Okay, so thank you. Does anyone else have any more questions for Ms. Shepherd? Ms. Shepherd, you've been most helpful. Thank you. You may have a seat. Is the board ready to make a motion to approve or disapprove this applicant? If so, may I have a motion? And Mr. Administrator, just for the record, what staff visualized and actually found when they went out there to recommend approval? Could you just give us an overview for the record of why you guys are recommending this, even though we can see it, just to say it aloud on the record so that everyone has a clear understanding before we take a motion?
Yes, Madam Chair. So the particular lot, in comparison to others, versus the others are kind of, they're not quite the football shape that was alluded to earlier. The lot is also conforming from a lot width standpoint, so it's not a non-conforming lot because it's too small. It's not non-conforming from the lot area. It's above the minimum lot area required for the R2 district. Do you also want to note, in looking at this lot, of course, the applicant had this plat prepared, and Mr. Belter and Associates went through and did that side. But when looking at it, this is a plat of the property, but it shows setback lines on there. That rear setback line is much further than what's depicted on there. So it actually further, in comparison to this image, shrinks the buildable area for that. Also, I do want to note that you can build in the flood area just with higher restrictions, so elevating structure and everything else like that. However, if you went in the 35 feet from the front and then the 30 feet from the rear, regardless of whether it's in the flood area or not, you're not going to have a significant space to build. That building footprint is going to really shrink down. So based off of that, that was the reason for staff's recommendation for approval for it, that the proposed dwelling, not because we don't consider price or materials or anything else like that, but the use as a single family structure is in character with what is in the immediate area. And that by granting a similar use to what's in the area would not be a substantial detriment to the surrounding property.
Thank you. Does that kind of clarify everything for the board? Okay, that's what I thought. So now, can I have a motion to approve or disapprove?
I'd like to move that we approve the variance request on address 1004 Jones Road, Columbia, South Carolina, 29063.
And before we have a second, I would like to add, just for the record, that upon the board approving that we actually do it in accordance to the standards of review, and the variance shall only be granted once the conditions that are proposed comply with sections 26-2.5D4 special exceptions, as it stands and has been stated for the record in that ABCD bullets. Can I have a second?
Prior to the seconding, can we confirm the address? Is it a Columbia or an Irmo address?
It is the Irmo.
It's Irmo. Yeah, I stand corrected. So I move that we approve the variance request given on 1004 Jones Road, Irmo, South Carolina, 29063.
With all conditions being met under that proposed compliance of sections 26-2.5D4 special exceptions decision standards. May we have a second?
Second.
And my apologies, that should be the variance section, so.
Okay.
But we had a motion and a second.
With those variances being granted, right? And all those findings being met?
Correct.
Okay.
If you could maybe just list a little bit through the criteria for the variance as far as those conditions, that would be helpful for the minutes. Thank you.
Yes. I move that we approve the variance request for 1004 Jones Road, Irmo, South Carolina, 29063, based upon the criteria, so long as it meets the criteria for variance and the standards for.
May we have a second?
Second.
Mr. Administrator, it's been properly moved and second. We're ready for the vote?
Nelson? Yes. Hendricks?
Yes.
Alderman?
Yes.
Johnson?
Yes.
Landy?
Yes.
All right, the motion is approved.
Is there any other business that we need to discuss?
There's none from staff, so.
Can we confirm our next meeting date?
Yes, our next meeting date that is going to be on May. So May the 6th at 3 p.m. So we currently do not have any cases that I'm aware of. Somebody could have always applied before midnight last night, and I honestly have not gone in today to check. But it would be helpful if we could meet to clinch the minutes, since there is a pending variance request, and the approval of that will hinge upon her ability to pull a permit. So
we need to move a motion that we still have a meeting May 6th at 3 p.m.
the good news is it's regularly scheduled, so no
Okay.
motion is needed. You would only have to do something if it was a special call. So.
Well, there's nothing further of the board and/or staff at this time. So all hearts and minds are clear. Meeting adjourned.